I think you, well, at least some of you, can remember when I made a video called Top 10 Worst Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition Players. Now this is part 2 of that. And this time, it's not 10, because I'm sorry, but I can't come up with 10. It's top 5 Worst Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition Players. Now, here is the list, okay? Starting at number 5, we have Spec Traders. Now, I get it. It's annoying when your camp is crowded by specs. Nothing but specs. Morph wheels, more traders everywhere. Just everywhere, okay? Like, that's annoying. I get it. Because you want to roleplay, you don't want a bunch of people just sitting there trading morphs and not roleplaying. But at the same time, you can't, like, get angry at people for spectating a roleplay. Like, that's just not how it works. Like, it's just rude. Like, let them sit there and watch the roleplay. It's not their fault that they don't want to roleplay right now. And if anything, like, it's not really, like, I know it's annoying when, like, the deputy or the leader is trading with a morph trader, right? Because then they're not role-playing, they're just trading. Like, that's annoying, especially since they're important in the roleplay. But if anything, that's not really the morph trader's fault. That's the deputy or leader for going to them and deciding to trade with them. So, like, you shouldn't be blaming the trader for that, just for existing. The game has a trading system in it. People are gonna use it, so just let them. Like, just don't get angry. Stop blaming everything on specs, bro. Anyway, and then at number 4 we have, this is the terms experienced and unexperienced. Okay, first of all, unexperienced is not a word. I don't know why people keep saying that it's inexperienced, not unexperienced. Just at least get it right, please. But, like, come on. I'm sorry, but it is pretty cringy to just put extremely experienced in your bio. Like, don't you get embarrassed doing that? And then you're gonna make fun of other people's for being quote-unquote lunas? Come on, bro. Think about yourself here for a second. Just think about how you appear to other people, okay? Stop trying to embarrass other people when you're embarrassing. And then for experienced, well, calling people inexperienced, that is just rude. Like, there's nothing wrong with being new to the game. Why are you gatekeeping this cat game where you just roleplay and be cats? Like, it's not something to gatekeep, bro. Go outside, please. Just stop being so obsessed with it. It's not that important if the roleplay doesn't go well. Just leave the inexperienced players alone. They are not bad people. They just want to play the game. And then at number 3 we have the people who are obsessed with whether or not you've read the Warrior Cats books. I've read the books. I can say confidently I've read at least, I haven't read all of them because there's a lot of books, but I've read a lot of them. And I just think it's stupid to judge people, like, on how good they are at role-playing just based on how many of the books they've read. Like, you don't need to read the Warrior Cats books to be a good Warrior Cats role player. They explain why. There's a reason why the Starpedia explains how Warrior Cats works. A lot of really good role players I know in the game haven't even read the books, and there's nothing wrong with that. Deal with it. Not everyone's read the books, that's fine, okay? Not everyone has to. And then at number 2, we have obsessed with realism. I hate these. I'm sorry, I hate it. I hate it when people get so angry at other people for not meeting their standards and what's realistic in this stupid game. Like, I know that their realism can be interesting for some people and some people like it, but I think you guys need to remember that, first of all, realism is only good to an extent because it gets boring. Like, if something is very realistic, it's just boring. There's a reason why a lot of things in fiction aren't realistic. It's to add more spice to it, to make it more interesting, because that's the point of entertainment. That's the point of things like roleplay, is to be entertaining. And yeah, I'm just saying, like, it just irritates me when people, like, see someone with an unrealistic name and then they're like, oh, your name is, like, unrealistic, so can you change it, please? And it's just like, bro, the books that this game is based on, they're not realistic books, they're fantasy books. don't force people to change their names. And I've seen this way too much. Like, people have literally excluded people from roleplays just because they don't like their name. Like, the name isn't realistic enough. Deal with it. Not everyone's gonna have realistic names, that's fine. Or people who get angry at other people for having like unrealistic morphs. So what? That's their morph. If they don't want to be realistic, that's fine. Let them be unrealistic. Just stop being so gatekeepy. It's weird. And then have toxic morph raiders. Listen, I like morph raiders as a general, like the idea of it is good. The being able to like tell people how they can improve their morphs and giving criticism to people who want criticism, of course, always good. But there is a small portion, well, not exactly a small portion from what I've seen, of people who use Morph Raider as an excuse to just be a jerk. Like, being a Morph Raider does not give you the excuse to just straight up insult people. Like, first of all, I've noticed that a lot of them are really biased against unrealistic morphs specifically, and that's already bad enough, because if you're gonna rate people's morphs or criticize things people have made, you should never have a bias. Like, that just completely ruins anything you tell people, because then a lot of your criticisms, or quote-unquote criticisms, a lot of it isn't criticism, are just based on a bias and are therefore not very valid. Like, for example, if I had like a really unrealistic morph one time, and then I went to this morph raider and they gave me like a really low rating just because it was like, it wasn't realistic enough. They said that they didn't like it because it had long muzzle and back fur and the colors were unrealistic, and that was their reason for giving it such a low rating. And the rating was like 2 out of 10. And like, I'm sorry, but like, I'm coming to you for criticism. I want to know how I can make my morph look better without changing my style to what you prefer. Like, not everyone has your style, if that makes sense. Also, there is a difference between criticism and insulting. Insulting someone is just straight up saying, oh, yeah, well, this is bad because it has back fur. Like, that's insulting. You're not giving them any ways to improve. You're just saying, oh, I don't like it because of this specific thing in the game that I specifically don't like because I'm biased against it. No, give them criticism. Like, what do you think could make it better? Like, I don't like the colors. Okay, why don't you like the colors? Like, what can I change about the colors that will make it better? A really good example of someone giving me good criticism that I've had in the past is, if you like Brindle, you could add Brindle and change it to make it like, use it as like, make it a little bit lighter than the fur you have, and it will make it look a bit more shiny. And that's worked out really well for me. And then they said maybe like add soul, like darker souls, and that will make it perfect. And that also helped me with some of my morphs. And yeah, just things like that. Like, it's not that difficult to give people good criticism, guys. Just don't be biased and don't be mean about it. It's that simple. I don't understand why people struggle with it so much. Or let's be real, they don't. They just want an excuse for being rude. Anyway, thank you for watching this video and listening to me rant, but yeah, if you've had any bad experiences with players like this, do let me know, because I love talking about this kind of thing, and it irritates me, because I swear this community is just getting more and more toxic. Like, people are so obsessed with being experienced and realistic that nobody wants to have fun anymore. But yeah. Don't let anyone tell you that your morph is bad because it's unrealistic, or that you should change your name because it's not realistic, or that you can't trade with people because you're ruining the roleplay. No, you're not. Don't worry about it, okay? Don't listen to people. Just do what you want. Just roleplay however you want. Don't change your style for anyone. If you like your style, you like your style. Don't let people change that about you. Don't let people break you down, and have a good day.